Hello, CEEI participants. My name is AJ Adams. I'm your NASA president, and throughout this process, I will be your Mentor Academy guide. We're very excited about this new series of mentorship videos. Throughout these videos, you will learn more about the mentor-mentee relationship, and at the end of each one, you will be tasked to discuss the topics of what you've just learned with your mentee. For this purpose, we're viewing you as mentors in training. Please know that we are very, very flexible with this process and throughout this process. We also realize that if this was a formal Mentorship Academy program, one that you'd have to apply to in order to receive a certificate or certified credentials, you would be meeting with your mentee over a period of months, not just a few times for this purpose. Also know that the group meetings with your assigned NASA mentor facilitator is simply to provide you with the opportunity to share out your experiences that you've had thus far with your mentee, as well as learn from others as they share out their experiences. Please make sure you have your video reflection form and jot down your notes and thoughts along the way. We will not be collecting these forms from you. They are yours to keep and use during your mentor-mentee interactions. By now, hopefully you've selected a mentee. So you're probably thinking, okay, now what? So if you haven't had a conversation with your mentee yet, and you are waiting for this video to come out, here are a few talking points to get you and your mentee started. So again, if you're not sure how to work with your mentee, or if you don't have a formal relationship or any type of relationship prior to this, first start off by explaining the program that you're in, the CEEI, presented or provided by NASA. Tell them that this is an assignment for a course that you're taking, and it's going to be a very informal process. Depending on the relationship, like I said, you may already have one formed informally, or it may just be almost like a cold call starting this from scratch. You'll have to decide how to roll that out, right? So another tip is to talk with them about their calendar, your calendar. What are the best times that you guys are both available? Throughout this process, you're not really going to need to meet a ton of times, but we're all busy. You're going through the CEEI plus juggling everything else that you're juggling in your day jobs. So you do need to be probably cognizant of your calendar and their calendar and getting some time slots down so that you're not trying to rush and get this done at the last minute. But without a doubt, the most important factor of an effective mentor-mentee relationship is trust. Absolutely, without a doubt, trust. So please make sure that you reassure your mentee that whatever you discuss, it's 100% confidential and it's locked in your vault forever. And that goes both ways, because you may be sharing some personal things or some personal stories or anecdotes with them for them to be able to learn from you and your mistakes or what you've learned and grow. So that mutual trust really has to take place. Now, I always qualify that statement with anybody that I coach or mentor, is that everything stays locked in my vault unless you tell me or disclose something that you've done illegal or immoral and that I'm obligated to report. So hopefully none of those discussions will take place. You'll also need to remember that when sharing out during your group meetings, not to use names or identifiable information, just to not out them or any specific situation, right? So we all know how small our organizations really are, no matter how large they might be or appear. So we just want to make sure that confidential information stays confidential and the trust factor is never breached. Now, if your mentee would feel better talking about hypothetical situations instead of themselves, that's fine as well, as the process is more important than the actual individual circumstances or examples that may come up or might arise. Another tip is telling them in advance, what you're going to be discussing. So, which might calm their fears or anxiety, and also will set the stage for both of you for your meetings to make sure that they're as productive as possible. This can be especially helpful after you've already met with your mentee, where you might have a discussion and challenge them to try something new and different. And, of course, as any good mentee or coaches are, you're going to hold them accountable. So let them know, hey, the next time I'm going to ask you about this, and I really want you to try something different. So now, if you've already discussed this program with your mentee or already have a great relationship with them and have worked with them before, here are some suggested next steps prior to meeting with them officially for the first time. So if you don't know them already, try to get to know them a little better. This can be done with a phone call, video call, etc. Ask about their personal background. A lot of times in professional types of situations, people are afraid to ask, like, "Hey, tell me about yourself. Do you have kids, dogs, anything?" Ask them about their personal life or their background. Maybe not getting in too much detail, but family, kids, college, where they grow up, how did they end up in Nevada? Are they natives? And you could always go to some of the questions that we've asked you throughout the CEI, such as like, who was the most influential person in your life, and why, right? So you'll find out a lot of information just having this kind of dialogue with them, and just know that truly in the mentoring and coaching world, personal lives always intertwine with professional life. It's really inevitable. You can't completely block personal life away from professional life, right? So, but then ask about their professional background. Have them give you their resume. Perhaps ask them what they're most proud of professionally. Where have they been? Where are they at now? And where would they like to be? Right? We're all in a leadership program, so I'm assuming that everyone aspires to grow professionally and to be in that position that they'd like to spend the rest of their career in. So talk to them more about that, and don't be afraid to share some information about yourself too. Again, that mentor-mentee relationship goes both ways. So it should not really be a one-sided deal to where you're almost like interviewing them, right? It's just getting to know this person, right? So doing the research prior to your first official meeting will not only save you a lot of time when meeting, but it's also going to provide you with valuable information so that kind of what type of lens that they're looking through as an individual, right? So for example, let's say you're working with a new teacher, or even someone who perhaps has worked in the private sector for most of their career and just came into the education world. And the topic that you're talking about, which we won't have one of these topics, but let's say the topic is budget and finance, or more specifically talking about retirement systems, right? PERS, our retirement system in Nevada. Working with a brand new teacher or a brand new person to public education that may have experience outside of education, outside of the public sector, they probably would be looking through a different lens than compared to if you were discussing this topic with someone who is in the last 5 years of their PERS system, right, or of retirement. So just kind of having that information and that background, I think will really help set the stage for your discussions. And then also, so kind of where they're coming from, that will help you guide them and be a better guide to them. So in general, why are mentors important? First, I think in general, anybody that can help you grow as a human, as an individual, is important. So one of the main things is, of course, going through these crazy times, navigating through this pandemic and period of time can definitely be helpful. We talked a little bit about this the last time we met, and the reality is, though, people go through stuff all the time, every single day. We're all carrying something. Nobody is immune to this, right? Whether it's personal finance stuff, relationship issues, kid issues, medical issues, you name it. They're life circumstances. That's life, right? That nobody can avoid. We also know that most people's personal lives and their circumstances, they don't just disappear and fall away the second they step into their workplace environment on a daily basis. So, having somebody to go to, having a mentor, especially someone in a position that, possibly you may aspire to be in, or just another professional person to seek advice from, and talk with you and listen without feeling you might be looked down upon differently. And certainly somebody that possibly doesn't write your evaluation is a huge asset to your professional career. You can talk about your issues personally and professionally with, friends or significant others. However, a lot of times, at least I've found throughout my career, is that, I've had a ton of conversations with a lot of people because I try to network and try to get out there into the business world and business sectors. But when you are talking to non-educators, they can only get it so much. right? They can only understand. It's like, you haven't sat in my chair, so you truly don't understand, or you haven't walked in my shoes. Those types of sayings. But people that aren't in public education can only understand up to a certain point, and then you lose them, or they can't really have any. They can't really provide any sound advice because they're not in it. So that's where another a mentor really comes into play. Why else is it a great idea to have a mentor? Now, on a broader level, more globally, finding a mentor can help you in so many different ways, whether it's an informal mentor, such as this process, being part of a formal mentorship program, or people pay for mentors. People pay for coaches and mentors, on their own. So, as the saying goes, increasing your network will also increase your net worth. So I'm sure you've probably heard this as well. Look at the 5 people that you spend the most time with. I'm not talking about your kids at home or the people that you have to work alongside of at work every day. I'm talking about the 5 people that you choose to spend most of your time with. Those people that you talk to either every day or every week, your close circle of friends, that tight-knit group of people, right? Those types of people that you would say anything to and share anything with, the good, the bad, the ugly. So what they say is that you typically are the average of those 5 people. So if the 5 people you spend the most time with are millionaires, then there's a good chance that you're going to be a millionaire as well. If you surround yourself with 5 highly accomplished principals, then you'll probably be the 6th. Conversely, if you surround yourself with 5 alcoholics, then there's a good chance that you may be that 6th alcoholic. So the same also goes with negativity. If your 5 closest friends are always complaining and always talking negatively, more than likely, you're not going to be a very positive person either. So be very careful with who you surround yourself with. Our time is so valuable. And so you just need to be very cautious with who you give your time to. Also, millionaires have on average 7 or more mentors throughout their lives. So I'm not focusing really just on money, millionaire type of thing, but millionaires are successful in whatever ventures that they set out to do. So them having on average 7 mentors throughout their lives or careers really says something. So with all of that said, if you have a mentor, you're going to want to get your mentor in your top 5. So whether if you don't have a mentor yourself and you'd like to get a mentor, you need to go look for one. And, really, if you look at the 5 closest friends or your circle of 5, and you kind of may have to adjust what your circle of 5 might be. I don't know, but that's up to you to decide. So anyways, for me, I want my mentor or mentors to be in my top 5 because my mentor and mentors are people that I want to aspire to be, and people that challenge me, and people that push me to be a better person today than I was yesterday. So, a good mentor makes you think differently, gives you the global picture, the larger picture. Good mentor challenges you professionally and personally. A good mentor holds you accountable. So mentors should save you time, money, and energy. They should shed years off of your success, and they should also be able to open up their circle of friends as well. So, and what does that do when a mentor opens up their circle of friends? It widens your network, right? So, in conclusion, I think anyone can argue that having a mentor is vital to not only increasing the growth of yourself as an individual, but also the growth of an organization. So it is my belief that we should all be looking for mentors, clearly. Now, the mentee that you select, my hope is that they also have a growth mindset, and they too want to learn from you and broaden their network. Not only in order to grow and become a better version of themselves today than they were yesterday, but also to better impact whatever that they're involved in, better impact their home life, better impact themselves as a parent, a father or mother figure, and better impact any organization that they're working in as well. So next steps, be sure that you filled out your video reflection form and make contact with your mentee if you haven't done so already. and start asking them some of these questions, just informal questions, so you get to know them a little bit better, and have a dialogue back and forth, and so they can get to know you a little bit better as well prior to your first meeting. So I just want to wish you the best of luck. Enjoy the process, and I can't wait to see your own professional growth from being a NASA CEEI mentor in training. Thank you so much, and look forward to speaking with you soon.